I just think that the personal relationships is too messy.
Ariana, so good to see you as always.
Yes, good to see you.
Good. How about you?
Good. Yeah.
Good.
It's raining in Los Angeles today, so
that never happens.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that then I guess that you're inside doing a bunch of press today, so you won't miss a good day.
Yeah.
So obviously we're just a few episodes into this season. So how are you feeling about it so far?
I feel good. I think this season is it feels so fresh and different. And I love the dynamics that we're getting to see. And you're just getting like different pairings and things of people that, maybe before wouldn't have happened as wouldn't be as likely to happen. And I just, I think that we're like kind of just not, we're getting like surface. We're about to dive into like some major drama. So I feel like these first few episodes have kind of been like a little bit of a teaser or like a rockabye baby into like hell.
Does it do things really kind of turn up, and like can you tease like what the drama is between? I know I spoke to Sandoval recently and he said things between he and Kody kind of get really ugly.
Yeah, that would be correct. Everything with Tom and Kody does kind of really get pretty bad. And also I think with what you were seeing a little bit of the stuff with Scheana and Brock and Lala, that's definitely something that's going to be getting pretty intense. And, me and Lala are forever all over the place. We are forever up and down, up and down, up and down. It almost feels, I remember, last summer just feeling like, it was this summer. I'm like, what year is it?
Right, seriously.
I almost remember just feeling like wanting our friendship to get better and to be good, and just feeling at some point like it was an impossible task. And I think that the stuff with Tom and Kody definitely has there's a lot of fallout that happens because this group of people that's on this season. I mean, we are all really close. Yeah. I mean, this was almost like essentially like our bubble. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, when there's issues between two people, it really does have like a trickle out effect into the rest of the group. And then what's crazy that oftentimes I always say this happens. I'm like, I wish I was able to be a fly on the wall for all of the conversations that I'm not actually present for, because I feel like when I form an opinion based on what I hear from other people. And then when I watch the show, I'm like, I would not have thought that if I was able to have seen the way that things played out when I wasn't there. So I need to start setting up like surveillance or something on everyone. I don't like having a strong opinion about something and then feeling like I was wrong.
What have you felt like you've been wrong about so far?
Well, I guess I wasn't so clear on the fact that in Palm Springs, Brock was the one who was really like spilling his whole history. Mm-hmm. I kind of like knew that he said a couple things, but then when I watched that scene with Brock and Scheana and Reno and Lala, it just was like, okay, wow, that's a lot more than I feel like I knew or was really clear on. And that could have also been, that's no one's fault, maybe but my own. Like I probably should have like asked some questions. But then another thing that happens is too, like I want to know, but then I don't want to ask Scheana everything that happened when I wasn't there and then have her tell me and then tell me again later. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very like, it's just complicated.
Hard. Were you shocked when you found out all of that about Brock? And you kind of teased.
I was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah.
Because that's the other thing is that Scheana and Brock just celebrated their 2-year anniversary, and Scheana and I are super, super close. She's like my best girlfriend, and so when Scheana and Brock very first started dating, Yes, I was shocked. That was 2 years ago. And so that's another reason why I felt a little bit like I've been, you know, like Scheana has friends that have been there for her and for during this relationship in its infancy stages, getting to know Brock and kind of like vetting him, you know, and I will always be super protective of Scheana, always. And so, you know, I'm always going to be like, I'll be in the beginning, I'll be like, I'm not going to be rude to your new boyfriend, but just so you know, I am mentally taking notes at all times. Yes. And if something happens, I will be the one to swoop in. Mm-hmm. But Brock has really over the last 2 years kind of proven me wrong. So it's just, I can see how it's a little bit painful for it to kind of like all come back up again. Sure. Yeah. But I also think that these are things that the audience is definitely going to be questioning about his past and about him and the relationship. And so it's good for him to be open and honest about it and for it to be out there, because otherwise it would be this big question mark, you know, for everybody who doesn't know them.
So this becomes like a big point of contention between Lala and Scheana, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. And why, like, just Lala just doesn't kind of understand his past?
I think what it is that Lala wasn't there for the last 2 years. Her and Scheana were not really friends. They didn't really talk. When Scheana started dating Brock, Lala like wasn't really there getting to know him and doing the vetting process that like a lot of Scheana's other friends were doing. Sure. And so I think it's a little bit of like playing catch up. Mm-hmm. It just sucks because it's all on television. Right. So it's like, you know, playing catch up in a way where like the rest of us are kind of a little bit like, yeah, I mean, we've been through this. Yeah, they were red flags. Yeah, we've had these conversations with Scheana. We've had these and it just feels a little bit like, I don't know, like almost excuse me, a rehashing, although it's not a rehashing for anyone who's watching it. So, you know.
Do you think that Scheana was a little too quick to forgive Lala for not being there for her?
Yes, but not for that.
Okay.
After that happened, see, this is one thing I didn't understand why it wasn't really like explained. Mm-hmm. But after that happened, Lala then, so Scheana was doing a Q&A and episode of her podcast, and someone asked, why were you not at Lala's gender reveal? And Scheana said, my feelings for her, I wish I was invited, but I wasn't. Lala said that these are all the people she wanted there, and I wasn't one of them. So I guess that makes, now I know where we stand. Mm-hmm. And then she also said the thing about that night. Well, then Lala went on Instagram and said a lot of like really, like she escalated it. I feel like they both escalated it and escalated it. Yeah. So I think, and then of course, like Lala went for the absolute jugular when, you know, posting on Instagram and going on Instagram live and like ranting and making fun of Scheana. And that was the part that I was like, but did she, like, that's the part that for me, I guess, would just have been a lot harder to move past than just like whatever happened on that night where she had dinner plans. Yeah. And I just think there were a lot of other like little nuances that weren't really being discussed. So the part that she forgave her for, I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah, I get it. That was, and it made complete sense. It was the other stuff that I just felt like, you know, and then Lala's typical way of going around that is saying like, well, then don't poke the bear. It's like, well, why are you the bear? Like, why are you the bear? What, you know, no one else gets upset about stuff. So yeah.
Where do you and Lala stand right now? Because I think in an interview you said after watching the first premiere episode, you were kind of done with things, right? Because like you said, you're rehashing, you're learning things about what people have to say in these interviews post show. I mean, so where do you guys kind of stand right now?
We are, our friendship is, I think, it's a washing machine cycle of ups and downs. And that's something that even by episode 3, we had like 2 or 3 ups and downs. Like we were already, you know, like I said in Palm Springs when I was like, we're going to have fun no matter what. Mm-hmm. And we did. And that's something like we are able to have fun together. But then, you know, there were things that were being said that again, like made it worse. She said that I ditched her when she became friends with other people. And I was like, whoa, what? Like, no one's ever said that. No one has ever thought that. That's wackadoodle. But then it was like, we would stalemate and then we would go have fun. And I just think that is something like with our friendship, it is so often been like a couple steps forward, few steps back. And that I think just continues, and you'll definitely see that. And I have hope, and I hope that we can, you know, get to a good place, but it just seems like we're both really going to have to put in the work if we want that to happen. And, you know, that's TBD.
Yeah. Do you want to put in the work? Do you want it to happen?
Well, yeah, I don't want to not be friends. You know, I don't like having bad blood and animosity with people. So of course, like I want things to be good. I just know that in order for things to be good, I still have to like hold up my boundaries, you know, and not just say like, okay, you know, and allow it to be, you know, her.
Yeah. I know that you commented on a post where she posted a photo of, you know, the former cast members. And, you know, do you feel like at times she's still like living in the past?
Well, yeah, that was something that really, the thing that bothered me about that was that it was the premiere night. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, you know, I love those. I was like, post it on another day. Like, I love those girls. Like, it's no slight towards them at all. And I totally understand, like, posting a picture with your friends. My issue was that it's premiere night, and it felt a little bit like a slap in the face to Bravo, Evolution, and the cast of the show, who are all trying to have a really wonderful premiere night and have the audience be excited about the new season. Yeah. So wasn't even like a personal issue. It just felt like it was bad business, I guess.
Yeah. Does the season feel a lot different without them there?
You know, I think that there was so much going on, and there was so much drama and also a lot of fun times with everyone that I think like in the moment for me, like I didn't really notice. Okay. Other than it just kind of feels fresh, and it feels, you know, there's a little bit more room to breathe. And especially like not even with them, but like there were so many new casts last season. Yeah. And it was a lot harder to dive below the surface on so many things that were going on. And you only kind of got a little snippet of everybody. And now that it is a smaller cast, and a smaller cast that is all like super close, sure, I think you are getting like you're getting deeper into the story. And I think that that's good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Do you still have a friendship with Brittany? Because I know Tom said that he really doesn't talk to Jax at all anymore. He said, but do you and Brittany still chat a lot?
Yeah, we see each other from time to time. Obviously, our lifestyles are very different with her being a new mom. Right. But I saw her, you know, about a week ago, and she's just as cute and sweet as ever. Definitely. So yeah.
Is it true that Tom really spent $25,000 to make James and Raquel's engagement happen?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like I have to do some more like posts on Instagram. I'm like, all right, we gotta get some tummy tea or something. I'm just kidding. Right.
So funny. I mean, what did you make of James saying in the episode that you would never let Tom propose like that?
I think he was told to say that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Tom was just so excited to help his friend, and he just wanted James to feel like he didn't have to worry about paying for everything by himself. And Tom's just like that with all of his friends. And I don't think James even really thinks that.
Yeah, no, totally.
I have it on good authority that James doesn't actually think that.
Got it. I think you said in an interview or an after show or something like that, you said if somebody did propose to you like that, it would be hard to say no. So are you still on your same stance that you and Tom are just happy exactly where you are?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're happy where we are. I think the thing about I think obviously Rochella was like a freaking dream come true for everybody that was there, who I wasn't even getting proposed to. Like, it was so amazing.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, you know, everyone has their things, and I'm much more of like I like things to be very intimate, and very kind of like between the two people kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey,
no, I haven't changed my mind on it, but I don't know. It's cute, it's really sweet.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, that's the thing. I mean, can you imagine? We get engaged and then but then it was like the curse, then we broke up.
Exactly. I think in the teaser for this week's show, Sandoval gives Schwartz a Gwyneth Paltrow vagina candle. Do you guys have that in your house?
It's for me. For me. But it is our candle. Yeah.
I was going to say, do you have it burning in your house?
It smells amazing. Like, I don't know. I don't know that vagina is really like the word I would use to describe it, but it smells so good. I actually held off on burning it for a while because I was like, but when it runs out, like, am I going to get another one? Yeah, it smells amazing. Highly recommend the Gwyneth Paltrow vagina candle.
I love that. I love it so much. I wanted to get your critique of that. Now, do you have any involvement in the upcoming restaurant, or are you just kind of taking not a back seat, but just kind of?
Yeah, no, I am not involved in the new. I have so much going on of my own that to put another egg in the basket or another list of to-dos, it just was not in the cards for me. Yeah. It's just not the type of thing that I want to be doing right now. And, I know that it doesn't get talked about on the show as much, the things that I do as far as my business endeavors, some of which have been very successful, but go buy fancy AF cocktails. But I have a lot going on. I just felt like also when you work with people that you have personal relationships with, as you see, it can get complicated and it can get messy. And I just don't feel like it's the right fit. Also, I just can't imagine working for my boyfriend. Right.
No, totally.
I can't imagine it. I can't.
Yeah. Do you think Kody should have taken a backseat in all of this and kind of stayed out of it?
I'm a little torn on this because obviously I love Kody so much, and I obviously love the Toms, and I want their business to be successful, and I know that she does too. I'm torn. I think it was something that Tom and Tom agreed upon, like in the beginning of their formulation of this business plan, was that me and Kody would not be involved, and they agreed on that. And then Schwartz kind of wanted to change that. And I think when they agreed not to have us involved, it was for good reason. I mean, obviously there's a lot of contention, and there has been so much between Tom Sandoval and Kody. And so I think that, I can't imagine a world where at this point I'm like, I don't know what it would look like if she did work for them, because I feel like it would just be, I just think that the personal relationship is too messy.
Sure, I agree.
But she also does have good experience, and she, so I am a little bit torn, and I kind of I hate it because I love them all, and I don't like being kind of in the middle of it. And it's frustrating. But
do you like the name?
Yeah, I don't care what they name it. I don't have I like the name. I think whatever SUR is sexy, unique restaurant. So, and they're very successful. I just don't think that, it's not a person, it's a business. And I think that having their names in it is a great idea, because they can't name it Tom Tom. I'm sure they would have, but they can't.
Yeah.
And I think that you know, what they do with the bar itself is what's going to be what makes it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. You know, definitely. I mean, is it, you know, in this upcoming episode, I haven't seen the next episode, but it looks like Tom and Kody both open up about, you know, their struggles to wanting to have a family. Is that difficult for you to watch that and then, you know, kind of listen to Kody and talk about that? Because it's not easy.
Well, I feel it makes me feel bad because I guess I didn't realize that she was getting pressure from people. And I remember at one point, you know, well, with Stassi and Brittany and Lala and Scheana all being pregnant at the same time, I do remember when Kody was over here at one point during the pandemic at my house and said like, yeah, we're trying. And then we're, you know, she said, oh, we're going to Palm Springs and it's going to be when I'm ovulating. And I was like, oh, okay, good luck. But I guess I didn't realize that she was feeling that kind of pressure in that way. I guess I just kind of felt like it was, I don't know. I feel bad because I've seen things being said like, well, when are you going to do it? And I've seen a lot of stuff online towards her and it makes me feel bad. I just want her to know that like, I'm here and I'm not pregnant. That's one thing I told her. I was like, we can have like a hot girl summer, you know, like we can do whatever we want. And like when you want to do it and the time is right, you know, go ahead and plan for it. But like, you know, for now, like, let's just have fun. And I think that's because I think she was feeling kind of like left out and I feel really bad.
No, it's true. There's always so much pressure from everybody. It's like, if you start dating somebody, when are you going to get married? Then when are you going to have babies? So much. Just let everybody live.